Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Moy Daly and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd just make a video on things I wish I knew before I went to uni, which also doubles as a top tips for first years. If you don't know already, I am a uni student. I study at the University of Warwick and I'm doing a history degree. I've just completed my first year, so I'll be going into second year, and I've just been doing some reflecting on some of the things I've learned, and mainly the advice I'd be giving today is just some of the kind of lesser known or lesser told things people are told before they go to uni. So we're gonna start with that. I've kind of split it into two sections. I've got some advice for the more academic areas of uni and some advice for the more general life and living at university. So I'm gonna get started with the academic side because that's what we go to uni to do, so might as well start with that. Let's go. Okay, so the first piece of advice I would give in terms of academics would be to do your readings / homework before you go to your seminars. Now, this is a bit of an underrated piece of advice. It probably seems like a given, yeah, I'll do my work, but I just want to place emphasis on actually doing it, right? I when I first started uni, the first couple of weeks I was like, wow, I have so much free time. And then I realised, no, I don't have free time. I'm meant to be doing the readings for my seminars. And honestly, it just makes your life so much easier because then you're not stressed about not knowing what you'll be discussing for an hour. You're not just relying on what you learn in the lectures. And also, it also saves other people from having to carry you the whole time in the seminar. It's not fair for someone who's done all of the reading to be doing all of the talking for an hour, and it just makes your life easier too. And personally, I think the seminars I enjoyed the most were the ones where I'd actually done the reading and knew what I was talking about. So yeah, that is the first piece of advice I would give. Okay, so the second piece of advice I would give regarding academics, and I feel this one is actually quite important, is to ask your tutors for extra feedback. Do not just take their written feedback at face value. That will not be very helpful to you. This is something that I didn't do enough of. I think out of all the assignments I handed in, which is 3 terms, so probably about 9 or 10 in total, I only asked twice extra feedback, and I actually found those 2 times where I asked extra feedback quite helpful. It really highlighted things I could improve upon, and also that's what your tutors are there for. They're there to help you. That's what they're getting paid to do. You can drop them an email, ask them when their office hours are, make an appointment, visit them in their office hours, and get extra feedback. So I think this is a very, very key piece of advice, and I wish I did this a lot more, and I will be doing this a lot more in my second year. So yeah, that is the second piece of advice. Okay, so the third piece of advice I would give regarding academics is something that's it's not the end of the world if you don't do this, but it definitely helps with staying organised. But I highly recommend getting to your lectures and seminars 5 to 10 minutes early. This is more of a kind of peace of mind kind of thing. It stops you from rushing, and also once you get into the habit of it, you just kind of start to plan your day around getting to your lectures and seminars early. So basically you're never late. You can just be on time, and if you're on time, you get to pick where you sit. It's just nice knowing that you're definitely not going to miss anything. And for me as well, this is something I actually did a lot, which I'm actually quite proud of myself for. But my main motivation for it was that my uni accommodation was about a 10 to 15 minute walk from central campus where all my lectures and seminars would be. So I would leave my accommodation about half an hour to 20 minutes before my lecture or seminar was due to start, and then I was early. I could just kind of chill out, drink some water, and just really mentally prepare myself for an hour of sitting there. So yeah, I do really recommend this, and it's just nice to just keep you nice and organised, and you don't have to worry about forgetting anything or not getting there on time. So yeah, I do really recommend this one. So yeah. Okay, so the fourth and final piece of advice I'm going to give for the academic side of this video is something that I don't think is emphasized enough, but it definitely should be, which is why I'm emphasizing it now. But that is to pick modules you are actually interested in. Obviously, this only really applies if you're doing a degree and going to a uni where you can pick modules, in which case, great. Make sure you research them before you pick them. Email the module conveners and see and like get more information on it. See if there's any available student feedback from it. This will give you more of a view into what it's like to actually study it, because sometimes module descriptions just aren't enough. If you're doing a degree where you have to do lots of reading, look at the reading list to see if you like it. And this is like really important because you're going to be studying those modules for like the next year, and you want it to be something you actually want to learn about, right? Like, don't pay 9k to study something you don't want to study. And I just feel like this point is not emphasized enough. And also, if you pick modules you're actually interested in, this will assist you with doing like your seminar readings and stuff, because you'll actually want to do the readings because it's something you actually want to learn about. And when I picked my modules for second year, I made sure I was like interested in them. I was looking at the reading list, I was making sure I 100% I wanted to study that. So yeah, I just think this is a really important piece of advice that people don't really tell you enough of. Like, don't just go into it in the deep end, research the modules you will be studying. So yeah. Now moving on to more like general life and living advice for uni. I have 3 pieces of advice in this section. There's so much I could give, but that would end up being a very long video, but I can go into like more detail if you would like to see that. So to begin with the first piece of advice. So the first piece of advice I was giving regarding like general uni life is something that I really wish I had drilled in me before I went to uni, because it would have saved me so much time and money. But do not do your food shop when you are hungry. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. I'm just thinking about all the money that I wasted on food that I bought that I didn't need to buy. And I'm not talking about like, obviously do your food shop, but make sure you stick to your shopping list. Make sure you write a list first actually and stick to it. Sticking to the list is the hard part. Writing a list is easy. Sticking to the list, that's where it gets a bit difficult. And guys, I'm speaking from experience. Please do not just wing it. Like, you will make bad decisions, and I made bad decisions. I made many bad decisions when I was doing my food shop, and I don't want you to make bad decisions. So yeah, do not do your food shop when you're hungry, because you will convince yourself you will eat everything, and now you've bought everything, you've gone back to your accommodation, you're packing it away, and you realise, wow, didn't need most of that. So yeah, don't do your food shop when you're hungry. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Piece of general life advice I would give kind of leads on nicely from the first one that I just gave, but make your lunch and bring it to campus with you instead of buying it. Again, it will save you so much money, because you've already done your grocery shop and now you're just making lunch out of what you've bought, so you can factor the cost of lunch into your grocery shop, and this saves you from spending loads of money on campus, especially if you go to a uni where there are loads of food options. For example, Warwick, where I go, like every single building has a cafe in it, and there's so many different like restaurants and stuff on campus, and it really gets you because you're so near to it, and it's like, I'll just buy lunch today, and next thing you know, you're buying lunch Monday to Friday, and you're even going out for breakfast too. Guys, I did that. Don't do it. Like, make a lunch instead of buying it, and once you've made it, it's like, wow, now I have to eat it, otherwise it's gonna go off. So you're getting your money's worth. And yeah, just try. Obviously, I'm not saying don't eat out, because, well, I would just be a massive hypocrite if I said that, but try to not make it too much of a habit where your spending is just not justified, and then you go back and there's still loads of food in your fridge and it's going off because you're not eating it. So I do recommend making lunch, and I will try and make lunch more often next year as well, so we can go on this journey together. We can go on this journey together. So the final piece of advice I'm going to give regarding like general living at uni is something that I feel like you hear sometimes, but it's kind of given as like an alternative instead of like a main point in itself. and it is okay to stay in. Like, it is okay to not go out every single night, especially in Freshers Week. Like, the stereotypical idea of Freshers Week is that it's, oh, go out every single night, get drunk, get wild, you know, be wild. And you don't have to do that. I didn't do that. I went out, like, out one night in Freshers Week, and the rest of the week I was just, you know, getting to know my flatmates. Like, we played board games, we had fun, like, you know, went to Tesco together, and we did kind of like go out and like kind of like hang around on campus, but it was really, really chill. And it's okay to be chill sometimes. You don't have to go out every night. Of course, I'm not saying don't go out ever if you want to do that, and also don't feel like you have to stay in if you want to go out. But also, if you want to stay in, don't think you're the only one who wants to, because there are other people who also want to, and it'll be quite relieving to know that you have people you can hang out with who are like-minded. So it's okay. Like, staying in is an option in itself. It doesn't mean stay in, sit by yourself, do nothing, but it means maybe you don't want to go out. You'll save yourself a lot of stress and a lot of time, and that is a valid option in itself. And there are people who are down to stay in with you. So I just that's more something to like keep in mind. Yeah, it's okay to stay in. Like, it's not every night get wild. So yeah. Okay, so that concludes all the advice I have to give for this video. Honestly, there is so much more I could say, but that video would be hours and hours long. However, I'm down to make another one if you guys want more like specific advice. If you want like degree specific advice, I can like try and do that. So if there's anything you would like to see, let me know. I'll be happy to make it. It's not really like I have anything else to do, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope the advice I've given has been useful. Pretty much all of it is stuff that I've learned over the course of first year. Over the course of first year, that I wish I knew. But you know, it's always a learning experience. And yeah, if you are going off to uni, I hope you have a good time no matter where you were going. And yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You know, feel free to like and subscribe and all that stuff. But no one's forcing you to, but it would be nice if you did. So that being said, have a good day.